Hello, welcome. Batsmith Pro here with a review on the new released Injustice: Gods Among Us. This is the new platform fighter of the DC Universe superheroes that we all know and love. Basically, it's just another platform fighter that's loosely based on the Mortal Kombat universe, but just added in with the DC universe, along with the Mortal Kombat platform fighting. Now, don't get the wrong idea. This is in no way any affiliation with Mortal Kombat, nor is it a sequel to the Mortal Kombat versus DC universe. Oh god, I fucking hate that game. Anyways, it's nothing like that. It's its own game, just a platform fighter like Mortal Kombat. So all you South Koreans out there who is gonna opponent on the hard level difficulty, good for you. This is your game. But that's beside the point. Let's see. Graphics are pretty decent in different perspectives. Like the gameplay graphics, they're actually pretty decent. They're not like spectacular like Halo 4 graphics, but it's pretty decent for a fighting comic book game. A game basically where comic book heroes are fighting each other. Those graphics that are meant to portray that, it flawlessly executes it. The opening slideshows in the main menu, they're actually pretty legit. Like, it's like E3 cinematic trailer good. It's actually really good when the whole still images, but like they're like slowly panning across the screen. Those images are actually pretty decent as far as graphics wise. But the only way where the graphics are flawed is in these cinematic scenes within the game. The textures are kind of bland. Just really, the shading is not quite well. It's just whoa. But it is. But as far as like the texture structure, and not the way just it looked, but the structure of it actually looks pretty decent. As far as like the costumes of the heroes and villains, they're actually really nicely detailed, and they're really tied into like more of a modernized version of the comic book heroes that we know and love, like Batman's armor. It doesn't look like a black rubber mask like in the comics. It actually looks like an armored plate that can withstand like a headbutt up to about like 100 pounds of pressure. You know, Superman's it looks more like high tech and more alien like versus just a regular spandex suit with underwear on the outside. It's so the design of the textures in there for each character, they're actually really good, but the texture quality, not so good. But the graphics are okay. They're not like perfect, but they're okay for a 2013 game. As far as gameplay is pretty in the norm. As far as the platform fighter goes, you have the basic light and heavy attacks. They have, you can chain link the combos if you just press the right sequence of buttons at the right time. And instead of the fatalities like in the previous platform fighting games, they have what these called the super moves. Basically, if you take enough damage, or if you build up a max combo, you have a little meter at the bottom of your of the screen, and slowly it fills up. And what this does is that it allows you to do the super move. Basically, if you just press both triggers, it activates like an almost unblockable move. Now, almost unblockable. There is a way to block it, but that depends on who you're fighting against or who you're playing as. Basically, like my favorite super move is where like Batman's like my favorite super move. Basically, what he does is he throws down a smoke bomb. And while his opponent is disoriented, he types in a GPS code where the Batmobile off screen is peeling out and running up to him. And as it's doing that, Batman throws an explosive batarang at his opponent and then does a backflip over the oncoming Batmobile, and which then smacks its opponent off screen. I was just like, oh my god! Like, that's like one of those moments in the game where you go, ooh, damn. Ooh. damn. But everyone has their own thing. Like Aquaman, you could like he stabs you with this Triton and eats by his shark. Superman punches you into the stratosphere and punches you back down. Doomsday does his own thing. Each person has its own unique super move, and it's pretty good. Another thing about the gameplay, this is like the one thing I liked from the Mortal Kombat vs. DC universe. It kind of ties into this game. Is multiple arenas. In certain parts of certain arenas, if you're able to like get your player to like kind of meander over here to one side of the screen or the map and do somewhat of a power move, it will then hit them off the current arena, go through a sequence of them smashing through barriers or other kind of objects, and will then end up landing them on another arena which you could fight on. It's actually pretty awesome. Like the violence and the gore in it is pretty unique compared to the regular like DC game. The gore is actually is what I'm talking about now. Depending upon how much damage you take or how much damage you give to your opponent, the ending sequence where your opponent or you claim victory of the match, you'll have like scars or chunks of skin ripped off your body, and you'll show like the muscle structure like Wonder Woman, like basically from here up is like nothing there. And I played against her, and she has like a chunk like ripped off of here, and like her shoulder skin like torn off her body, her clothes all ripped up, not like a burlesque kind of ripped up. It's just, like a regular like battle scars ripped up, and I could actually see the muscle structures and blood. I was just like, oh my god, this isn't a fucking like comic book game. This is pretty intense. So yeah, that was just those little minor details are really what can make or break games, and that actually it makes it. And for those of you who want to know a little bit more about the plot of the game, basically it loosely follows the comic book series called of the same title, Injustice. Basically, what it is that the Joker escapes from Arkham Asylum, heads over to Metropolis, plants a nuke, and destroys everybody. But during this, he also drugs Superman into him fighting and eventually killing Wonder Woman and their unborn child, which is actually really sad now that I think about it. But yes, and basically this sends Superman into a huge rage, and he goes and kills the Joker while Batman is interrogating him, and eventually takes on a kind of like a new world order where he is like the supreme being of Earth, and basically just calls all the shots, and eventually builds up an own army that wants to take over the whole world. Now, Batman, being the awesome Dark Knight that we love, he kind of like assembles up an alliance with Lex Luthor, and Lex Luthor actually discovers an alternate dimension where he finds the same characters but with slightly different motives. Like Harley Quinn could be helping Batman in that universe, or Aquaman's actually a badass for once. Anyways, basically, so what he does is that he recruits these superheroes from this other dimension and brings them over into this dimension to where they can fight Superman and kind of end the world order that he's come to build up. It's really interesting because Superman is like the goody-goody do-gooder Boy Scout that we've come to know and love, and he's just totally going against his own code, and it's really interesting the way it's going to play out. Like, Superman's becoming like a fucking like badass and like killing everybody who gets in his way, and Superman doesn't do that. He doesn't kill anybody, doesn't lie, doesn't do anything, and he's just totally going against that. And I think it's actually pretty interesting the way it's going to play out. I haven't played that much of it yet, so I don't know that much about the story. All I know is the basic plot structure of how it's supposed to be. So yeah. So here, let's talk about buying the game. Do I think it's a good buy? Yes, but for $60 at retail price on opening day, let's just save that for the rich and spoiled kids, and us average Joes can wait a little bit and just let the price go down to about like maybe $45. I would happily pay $45 for this game. $60, that's pushing it. That's really pushing it. But $45, yeah, not too bad. It's got different multiplayer levels where you can just regular versus, or they have King of the Hills where you play in like an online tournament, and different people that you rack up against or in a clan with. Whoever's got like won the most match, got the most combos, or basically the highest stats will be that King of the Hill. And there's different like mini games within the games where like you're like playing as like a Minestrone and you have to like throw down meteors on top of like landmines, or you play as like Catwoman and you turn into a cat, you have to jump over through barriers and like rob jewels and stuff like that. So yeah, you know, just little things like that can determine whether or not the game is a good buy or not. And for $60 on opening day, no, I would not recommend that. But I would recommend waiting just a little bit. If you want the game, you can just go out and rent the game and play it for the storyline and just do your own little thing on it for like $10 for like a week. So you can do that. But like I said, it's a pretty decent game. It's also it's really nice. I'd recommend buying it, just waiting a little bit first and then buying it, like I said. So thank you, good night, goodbye, and subscribe. Don't run with scissors. Don't run with scissors. Goodbye.